Welcome to the Transform Sales Podcast, where forward-thinking business leaders come to share their experiences and ideas, learn from each other, and amplify their results together.
Welcome to the Transform Sales Podcast. We are in another episode of the Sales Software Review. I am with Lukas, CEO of AlgOps. Lukas, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome, Lukas. Well, what is this software product that we are going to cover today, Lukas?
Our software is called AlgOps, and basically it's a platform where you can do anything relevant regarding data about your accounts. So imagine prospects, leads, or even customers on company and also people level. And for example, what you can do with AlgOps is that you can enrich them however you want, because like we have AI agents, and so we can connect third-party services and other sales intelligence tools and so on. You can qualify them using predictive algorithms, for example, segment them using also other algorithms, and last but not least, monitor the accounts to spot trends and also analyze and trigger some actions based on events. Now it's quite cool and fancy to call it signals these days. Mm-hmm. So that's what we can do, and most usual cases and use cases are building target account lists, then creating custom audiences for ABM campaigns, and for example also LinkedIn campaigns. And also some companies use it for saving time on discovery phase, especially when they are selling to enterprise clients where there is a lot of people in buying committee, and environment regarding their customers is quite complex. And last but not least, some customers also monitor their customers to add extra layer to churn prevention. And last but not least, they also use it to calculate, for example, upsell potential or cross-sell potential.
Interesting. It really sounds like the main use case is this prospecting scenario, whether it's account-based marketing or with a targeted profile. But as you mentioned right there, just a second ago, it can also be used for customer success, upsell, cross-sell. So let's talk about your ideal customers. If you had to describe a company that is today your ideal customer, where would you put them in size, industry, geo, locations, etc.?
Yeah, like the most important factors is that we are working mainly with B2B SaaS companies, startups or scale-ups, and they are sales-led. So it's not most of the time it's not product-led growth, but sales-led growth. And we work with smaller startups from 10 people, using mainly our implementation partners, but also with big companies that have specialized RevOps people and complex sales operations and so on.
Perfect.
But the main criteria is that it's sales-led organization and it's scalable, and so it's most of the time B2B SaaS.
Okay, B2B SaaS organizations, they should have a team in place that can run sales. As you said, it's a sales-driven organization. And in their growth phase, probably if you had to give it a head count, could you specify a range?
Like the ideal is between 30 and 100 employees, if we can put a number for regarding employees there.
Okay, perfect. Now, in terms of what your software help users do, you've just mentioned 3 use cases. So let's jump into the next one, which is how should your users measure the success of acquiring AlgOps?
It can be measured mainly in 2 ways, and it depends on features the company is using the most. And so when it's when the company is using the most custom enrichment, for example, in the discovery phase, the main KPI is basically time saved because they don't need to extract and research the information by themselves manually. But regarding the algorithms and additional data operations built on top of these enriched accounts and data sets, is that it usually increase conversions. So in outbound and outreach use case, it's usually much more booked meetings. In inbound and ABM campaigns, it's usually like lead generation metrics, and in upsell, it's usually like increase in customer lifetime value.
So let's talk about a little bit of the main use case that I imagine is going to be the lead generation element, creating data sets. Part of the KPIs should be the conversion rates, the accuracy, the fact that numbers are not bouncing, numbers are connecting, emails are not bouncing. In those terms, can you talk a little bit about the databases that you plug in the backend? Because it seems like this is an alternative to maybe generating leads through doing LinkedIn scraping or using ZoomInfo, Dun & Bradstreet, right? So in those cases, what sources do you plug in just to give the audience an idea in case they know or have a preference and say, hey, for my industry, let's say I'm selling to lawyers, I use X source. But another use case could be real estate. Another use case could be IT, the IT probably, or maybe CEOs of tech companies. LinkedIn could be a good source. So if you can give a little bit of insights into how do you connect your sources, and if there's any sort of, let's say, weighting system on your algorithm to prioritize one number over another when you get multiple options. Is there anything that validates maybe the data right before or as you source it?
Mm-hmm. So it's a good question, and it really depends on the customer's target audience. So, for example, if they are selling to e-commerce, we can plug in e-commerce specialized database. There are plenty of them. They can upload their own database of their own companies using Google Sheets, for example. But if you sell to companies that are heavily and highly frequently appearing on LinkedIn, we can also scrape LinkedIn because we have specialized crawler for LinkedIn. But last but not least, if you, for example, use Apollo or ZoomInfo, you can also use the data there, then enrich them additionally for custom characteristics that Apollo or ZoomInfo don't have because they are really unique for you, and connect the data and use the predictions and segment them in our platform. So you can use our platform right from the beginning, but also as a middleware between your current sales intelligence tool and your, for example, CRM or your sales engagement platform, for example.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing in just a few seconds a demo, just to get an idea of, as you just said it, hey, either generate the list from scratch using my platform or use my platform to enrich lists that you're already working. You mentioned earlier the use case of account-based sales, account-based marketing approaches, in which case, as you said, signals, intent information, or other just other data that may not be in your existing source can complement your strategy. Before we go there, talk to me a little bit about your pricing model. Is it per lead? Is it per piece of information? As in, are the phones one price and the emails another price? Or once you reveal a contact, you get all the info? Talk to me about that, please.
So basically you have, we have couple of plans, and it's limited by number of characteristics for each account, and also by number of accounts in lists, and also number of lists in general. So For example, one use case, if you are small startup and you have 0 to 3 SDRs, for example, and you need just to start with the outbound sales and cold outreach via LinkedIn or cold calling or email.
Right.
It will cost you about $600 per month, including everything, and it will be enough for you to fill the pipeline for all your free SDRs and also account executives and so on and so forth, and you will have all the features that are necessary for this task. But for example, if you want to automate this kind of operations and also add data and use AlgOps for example, sales pipeline management and the discovery phase and so on, and also last but not least the customer success, the upsell and churn prevention, it can cost you up to $2,000 per month. Or even if you are like a really big company and you need a high volume, like prices can be like custom based on how many companies, accounts, data you need to manage.
And the particular type of data or fields that they need populated. So let's jump. I guess that just takes us to the last part, which is let's do a screen share and walk through a quick little demo of your platform, just so we can see what type of information I can enrich an existing list or generate from scratch.
Sure. So since we are like mostly API business because we connect to your services, and we also onboard and set up customers manually because like we have a lot of experience also in targeting and ICP research and so on. So that is by the way included in all our services. I prepared the showcase for about CloudTask, what can be beneficial for CloudTask, and let me share the screen. Cool. Yeah. So basically, like we tried a simple target account list for outreach for CloudTask, as I mentioned, and as you can see there, there are a lot of like custom properties, custom characteristics that you usually can't find in any other sales intelligence tool. So first one is remote option. If they are actually promote a remote culture in the company, it's usually can be found in about section or in career pages, in job descriptions, and so on and so forth. We are for this example, we are using AI agent, which is connected to either OpenAI or Claude, but we can also connect it to open source large language models, which makes it much cheaper to operate. Then another thing is basically automating the Google search and searching on the internet in general, and that's about the agency outsourcing. So imagine like if some company is in case studies or references in any other company, especially agency, we can find it on the internet for you and tell you that this company is publicly working with some agency. Thus, it's outsourcing some part of their business to any third party service or team. Another thing, and another two columns are mainly about scraping from LinkedIn, and basically we can scrape the employees so based on LinkedIn directory and evaluate all of those people if they are working in sales and marketing, regardless their job title and so on, and count them and provide you an insight how much people is actively involved in their go-to-market operations. Uh, Another thing is basically if they're hiring, if they have some open positions on career page, this is quite simple and can be found also in other sales intelligence platforms. So if you, for example, use Apollo, you can use this data, and so we will connect it with all the data I mentioned before, and I will mention later on. But we can also use our AI agent, as mentioned before, to research this information based on your needs.
It sounds like
Mhm.
any field or any type of data that you've ever wondered if you could get, but don't have access to in your tools, should be
Yeah.
discussed with Lucas's team, with the AlgOps team, and be like, guys, can your systems scrape this, pull it out, and print it on a spreadsheet? And if you
Yeah.
can, then now, and I have let's say a lead scoring system, or as you said, account-based marketing approach, I can prioritize. Hey, let's only work
Mm.
with the ones that are outsourcing, so they're familiar and will be much more open to enjoying these services. The number of salespeople is important, because if it's over 10, I know that my use case is stronger. If they're hiring, if they have an open job post, then they're much more warmer. So that all of it increases the likelihood of conversion.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, like that's what we do. Like, we don't think like the general industry and employee size and this kind of stuff. Like, it's a good to start with, but like we mainly add the complex layers and other characteristics to really target your resources as well as possible. So that's why we connect third-party sources you currently might have, but also at other characteristics you couldn't imagine like several months or years ago that you would have automatically, because like we can research almost everything that's publicly available on the internet. So if you would do a research manually by yourself, and you would find this information, we can set up our flows and do it in manual way. And also, like, we are like really focused on data clarity and so on and so forth. So we provide reasoning generated by AI for each value and confidence score and this kind of stuff. So you can really be like really confident in the data you will get.
In terms of list building, it brings to my mind in a scenario where if I have a data scraper, a human going through doing research, this is a more cost-efficient way of doing that, more accurate,
Mm-hmm.
because it's training a system, right? Maybe I don't know how much nuance it can be versus a human that gets trained, but it's almost like a task minion applied to list generation.
Yeah, like we tried it in past. We tried it to compare it with virtual assistants, and usually we had much better data quality than even virtual assistant that is not very skilled in your business. So because like there are consistency issues, and like virtual assistants are like they can be tired, and
They
they
can get
can
tired, right? Attention to
yeah,
detail they can
yeah,
put the input in the wrong
oversee and
field.
so on. Yeah, and last but not least, like it takes a really long time. Like we can do thousands of companies in couple of minutes for you. But this is impossible to do with humans,
That's
unless you
incredible.
have like hundreds of people. And
Can you
last but not least, like we didn't talk about the other columns, like the predictions and so on. And
Yes, please walk us through those.
yeah, like this is where our algorithms are adding another extra layer, because like we are heavily focused and like into prioritization and qualification. So we have a good prediction algorithms. So for example, we can predict based on other external factors and characteristics. We can set up predictive algorithms to predict the company's CLV based on their pricing, which is usually publicly available, and number of customers and the number of people they have and funding rounds and so on. So we can predict their CLV of a customer also based on use cases and features they have and how much they are valued and so on. And we can also, like, for example, scrape a G2 or for their competitors. So this can be also added into the predictions and so on. From that, we can predict, for example, their runway. So you don't spend much time on company that is probably running out of steam. You can instead focus on the company that has maybe the same CLV but closed their round like not 1 year ago but 3 months ago and have half of people. So it can be predicted. The runway can be predicted based on those numbers and other characteristics. So you can focus more on company that has a lot of like time to actually work with you. Last but not least, we can score the accounts and companies based on if they are, as I mentioned, like remote, if they promote remote option, or they already work with some agencies and they have a lot of salespeople and so on. So we can count the ICP score. You can sort the whole account list based on this ICP score, and that alone is impossible to do with human to compare like thousands of companies. You need some kind of algorithms and scoring model for that. And last but not least, like if you connect your CRM to AlgOps or provide us some data about also your customers and how much money you get from them, or for example how long it took for you to close them and so on, we can forecast your CLV or your time to close to your accounts, and you can prioritize and sort the accounts based on, for example, forecasted CLV, because like in simple terms, we will compare in real time the account with all your customers and how much they are making you money, and calculate the number, how much will this customer likely make you, how much money will this customer will make you based on your current customer base.
That's incredible, because it fixes two issues. Number one, if they have not worked on a lead scoring system, if they have it, they can bring it on. But if they have not worked on it, you can plug it in. And the second one is the forecast. Based on your pipeline, what you've converted, how much can you convert what you currently have, or any new opportunity that you come across, basically?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. You explained it very well. And so that's why we have all those features, because like the more unique data you have using, for example, those AI agents and so on, the more precise predictions you can have, and then the more precise forecasting you can have also. So the more data you will collect about your customer, and more like customized it is to your acquisition strategy and business model in general, and use cases. For example, this is nowadays quite a popular use case among our customers, that we are building target account list specifically for the case study the customer have. So we will find the most relevant audience for their case study, and the response rate of these outreach campaigns are quite huge. Like it's higher dozens of persons, the response rate. So it's the human-like quality, but at scale.
At scale, faster, better, cheaper.
We can say it that way too.
I love it, Lukas. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience about AlgOps?
Yeah, so like as I mentioned, like we are setting up everything manually these days, and we are providing those data with via the API. So basically, I don't have right now anything else to show you except the data as I showed you right now. But like we are building also the self-service platform that will come later this year or in Q1 next year. So companies will be able to use this form also in self-service way. We are building the targeting recommendation engine for and what it means is that we will scrape your website as you sign up and research all those informations we need, and we will basically suggest you all those unique data points and all those unique characteristics you might consider to collect about your account. So you will just click yes, no, this is not I don't want that, but I want this, and so on. And you will create your own data sets that is unique to your business model and acquisition strategy. So
that's fantastic, Lukas. I can see how you can go crazy with the fine tuning. How about the support from your team? Because, for instance, as a business owner, you may have different intentions, ideas, and I can see that there's a lot of power behind the algorithms that are doing the scraping, that sometimes those powers go beyond the imagination, the current imagination of your potential customers. Is there any sort of consultation services in which you help them dig deeper and build a package where you say, listen, based on the way your sales team's been operating, we recommend that you act XYZ fields?
Yeah. Basically, this is the part of every onboarding process. We do this kind of analysis, and before going full time on AlgOps, I had an agency, and we did ICP research, and we had psychologists in the team, and we did really deep down into the ICP research, and we also created the case studies and landing pages for these kind of companies and sequences and so on. So we have quite a bit of know-how also outside the directly account list building and account enrichment and account data operations. So all this know-how is included in every project with our customers. But last but not least, like we are not like professionals in everything. So we have also partnered, for example, sales coaches and sales automations people and pricing strategy people and so on. So we can like cover it all. Not everything internally, but quite a bit of that.
That's amazing, Lukas. We've spoken a lot about account level information, company level information, firmographic, technographic. But I was wondering, you just mentioned psychologists, strategists. If you're running an ABM campaign, aside from the account level information and all the contacts, when you mentioned the psychologist, I couldn't help but think about DISC profiles and methods of communicating with a lead. So aside from the account or company level information, could you also provide further insights or demographic information about the individual that not only heads chief revenue officers in general, but George, the chief revenue officer at Acme Company? Can you provide further insights?
Yeah, and that's actually we are using the most internally as AlgOps for AlgOps. That especially for LinkedIn, and on LinkedIn, I believe we are quite familiar with that. The job titles usually don't mean the same job description and the job the same skill set and so on. So what we do on this level is that we do basic evaluation, and we basically evaluate all the potential people and their role in the buying committee, in the buying process. So we basically segment them into decision makers, budget holders, or champions, or power users. Mm-hmm. So you can get quite a good understanding of what people will be involved and in which way in your buying process, in your sales process, in their buying process. Mm-hmm. So which is especially valuable when you are selling high ticket software to enterprise and big companies in general, because like there will be a lot of people involved usually. And regarding the psychologists, like it's rather a gimmick, because like there can't be discovered a lot from about description and job description, but there can be, and we are doing that there can be estimated, for example, personal values on a level that if the person is more focused on, for example, numbers or soft skills or team or leadership. So you can split using AlgOps people in these brackets, and that's about it. That's about it, because like there is not a lot of information usually in about sections and these job descriptions. So don't imagine that you can do automatically some like psychology evaluation and diagnosis, because like it can be done from a simple text. But you can segment people based on these simple values. So it can help you, for example, with personalization, which case study or which highlight from the case study you can send them. So, for example, if you have a case study with numbers, and you have people in those companies that are heavily focused on KPIs and so on, you will send the numbers case study. But if you have, for example, more storytelling case study, you can send this case study to other company or other people in that company that is more about leadership and storytelling and so on, because like it will most likely resonate with them much better.
Mm-hmm. Better fit, it will echo better. I love it. Well, there you have it. It's the power of whatever is available online that is at the disposal of AlgOps. If it's not there, as you said it, hey, there's only some limited information in the About Me sections. There's only so much we can do with it. Probably we'll create some profiles, we'll create some insights, but nothing beyond that, because we would be assuming. But as long as it's on the web, we can probably find a way to tabulate it and bring it into your account lists. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Lukas, for sharing more about AlgOps. If you are wondering how you can contact Lukas and his team, you can definitely check them out in the CloudTask marketplace. Lukas, thank you so much for your time, and I hope to catch you on the next episode.
Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.